Okay, so right now we are watching my 3D printer print up on the top of the screen here 5 of the white pieces. These would be the right-oriented triangles, and it is slowly at 1/5 of a millimeter per layer building up these pieces. Now when it gets to a certain height, I am going to have to pause the printing so that I can insert magnets on one of the sides, the long side, the hypotenuse of the right triangle, if you're looking at it and you know your geometry. When I pause the printer, you'll see that the print plate is going to move forward, and hopefully these pieces that are right now up near the top of the screen will be fairly centered down here, and you'll get a pretty good close-up view of how I insert the magnets. And again, I have to be very careful when I do this. I have to pause the print at the correct time at the proper layer, and I have to keep track of which side, the left or right triangle, I am printing and which way to orient the magnets. I have a whole system at this point because I've done this many times, printing dozens of these triangles. But I want to make sure I insert the magnet correctly, because of course if I flip it around and then the whole thing prints out, I won't know that I flipped it until the print is done, and it will be messed up. How will I actually insert the magnet? Well, these magnets are really tiny. I'm going to put one in front of the camera here. This is a set of tweezers, long tweezers, and at the end you see I put this little rectangular magnet. It's probably not in focus very well, but this is a tiny magnet. This is a 1/4 inch by 1/8 of an inch by only a 1/16 of an inch thick, and 3 of these go into each piece. So what I do is, when I make sure, and you'll notice also that this magnet doesn't, you can't tell just by looking at it which is the North Pole and which is the South Pole. So I have a whole system set up so that according to whichever triangle I'm currently working with, I have the magnets stacked up properly. I have to pick them up one at a time, and I put them on the end of the tweezers like this, which you'll see I can then depress the magnets into the plastic hole. On the triangle, I do that 5 times, and then I resume the print, and it prints up several more layers before I put the next set of magnets in. I have the magnets staggered on different sides at different levels. This helps stabilize the whole sphere when it's put together. If they were all at the same height, it would be a little trickier to put them into the plastic pieces because the magnets would be trying to repel one another a little bit, and it also just wouldn't hold the sphere together quite as well when you're actually building the toy. So we're coming up to where I'm going to have to pause this soon. I'm going to shut up so I'm not distracted, but for the next minute or so you should see me insert the 5 magnets and then resume the print. Hopefully I won't mess this up. I have to pause it when it's in the middle of the 5th one, so the rightmost triangle that it's printing. Okay, now it is paused. If I orient the magnet correctly, you'll see now I press it in to that hole. Well, you couldn't see that one. You'll see the next one. There's a little hole. I don't know if it will show up, but I can press the magnet into it. And I have to make these holes just the right size so that they snugly hold the magnets so that they don't pop back out onto the 3D printer extruder. But obviously I can't make it so tight that I can't push them down in the hole. So this took a lot of design time over and over again. and literally refining things down to tenths of millimeters. I don't know if you've been seeing this. This may be too close. Press that in, and the lighting isn't great here either. But I've got one more to do. This little magnet right here gets pressed into that hole, and all 5 are in, and I will resume the print. So the print head goes back. It has to heat back up. It cooled down while it was paused, but it should resume right where I left off. And then after about another 20 minutes, I have to do the next set of magnets. So I will continue this until it starts to print again. It prints at the extruder. This is PLA plastic, and it heats up to about 210 degrees Celsius, which is what, roughly just under 400 degrees Fahrenheit, I guess. Just cleaning off the extruder head. Okay, so it's restarted and picks up right where it left off. And now on this layer, since I paused it in the correct place, it is now printing over those magnets that I inserted. So those magnets are completely surrounded by PLA plastic and will not pop out, again, short of literally breaking the pieces with a hammer or melting, burning them away. That's the only way you can get the magnets out of it. So that's how I put the magnets into the pieces. I have to do it for all 120 pieces. Each piece has 3 magnets, and assuming I don't screw up the polarity, then obviously you're talking at least 360 magnets.